Hi, I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times. Monday, July the 13th. News headlines from Arkansas. As promised last week, Cheryl Maples, the lawyer who brought the first suit over Arkansas's same-sex marriage ban, filed a suit today over one of the outgrowths of the decision that same-sex marriage is now legal in the United States. She's filed a suit on behalf of 3 lesbian couples who have been unable to get both parents of the couple registered as parents on children's birth certificates. In each case, there was a sperm donor. In each case, the birth mother's name is on the birth certificate. In each case, the health department has not allowed the other parent to be on there. This presents enormous complications for a family. And it's not the sort of requirement that's placed on heterosexual couples. If a mother says a man is the father of a child, that word is accepted by an affidavit, even in unmarried cases. They're imposing a different standard on same-sex couples. The lawsuit says that's unconstitutional. They want the state enjoined from this practice. It's going to be interesting to see how hard the state fights, and if the legislature fights from imposing this rule. It seems to me that full family rights are what's called for in the case of these children, and they need inheritance benefits and a parent who can make medical and school decisions when a birth mother is otherwise indisposed or something even worse happens. But the courts may have to decide. More developments today on a case reported late last week about a complaint of physical abuse at a state licensed daycare, the Anderson Taekwondo Center. A child was beaten until his bottom was bloody. A battery charge has been filed, so has a lawsuit that's been filed. The center made the unbelievable comment after the suit was filed through an attorney that the mother had agreed to allow the use of corporal punishment. Well, that's not true. She signed a form that said she agreed to discipline, but not to physical discipline. And physical discipline is prohibited by law in daycare centers. There's been an investigation of this center. The state says that it's taken corrective action, although the center is still licensed. The employee who did the brutalizing, supposedly, is no longer allowed to work there. But this raises, again, questions of how well we police the people who serve our children. This center said everybody knew that they did corporal punishment. If that's so, the state says that is not so in their case. It's a terrible thing and something needs to be fixed. President Barack Obama today commuted the sentences of 46 federal drug offenders, some of them serving life sentences for sale of drugs. He said they were sentenced to sentences that didn't meet the crime, that they didn't deserve to spend lives in prison. And this is all part of a criminal justice reform that sets about getting more people out of prison who've committed nonviolent crimes. Arkansas has set out on this path. There's going to be a cover story in this week's Arkansas Times in which Lindsay Miller is going to investigate just how serious we are about really instituting some criminal justice reform, which, by the way, enjoys some support on both sides of the political aisle. Hillary Clinton, the presidential candidate, gave an important economic speech today. She emphasized income inequality. I think she's burnished her progressive streak somewhat for Democratic primary voters. She said that to improve the economy, we need to improve workers' pay for one thing, and yes, rich people probably need to pay a little bit higher taxes. Republicans won't like that, of course. Some other quick headlines. The Central Arkansas Transit Authority is going to open a compressed natural gas fueling station tomorrow. It's the beginning of transferring the bus fleet over to gas from diesel. That's good for the gas industry. It's good for the environment, too. Jim Gaston, who turned a small White River resort into a giant world-famous trout fishing resort, died this morning in Mountain Home in 73. Those of you who read the Democrat Gazette might have thought he died last week. A columnist was a little premature with that news in yesterday's paper. And finally, an interesting headline from Texas. The Whataburger hamburger chain, which has dozens of stores in 10 states, including Arkansas, although not a similarly named Whataburger in Russellville that's locally famous, it said it's not going to allow open carry in its burger restaurants. It said people are made uncomfortable by the sign of them. Those who have concealed carry permits can still bring them in undercover. But it's making a move that people in the restaurant industry say other restaurants are likely to follow. This is not considered very popular in Arkansas among the gun nuts, and so we'll see what kind of reaction this might bring. I know Representative Nate Bell, for example, says he'll never take an Uber because Uber doesn't allow guns in its Uber cars. Maybe he won't eat a Whataburger again. We all probably could do with fewer Whataburgers, I suppose. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.